back to Front Yard Technicians. I know it's been a while, but we're back. JB's not here right now, he'll be in later. Today we'll be working on this 2006 Avalanche. If you can see on the ground, we'll probably show you that later, there's a bunch of oil. The oil pan's actually been leaking since we had it. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, replacing the oil pan. Yep. Diesel, you want it? Get it. Oh, you missed it. All right, so of course our oil pan gasket's leaking. That's why we're here. Got us a new oil pan gasket. We'll throw the part number up on the screen here in a second. You can double check that you're getting the right one. This one's for 5.3 2006. I'm not sure if it matters year to year or engine to engine, but. O'Reilly said we needed 6 quarts of oil. If you're doing an oil change on anything, normally O'Reilly's got it in their system. They can tell you how much you need, you know, what weight. This is basically Valvoline, I believe. It's one of them big brands. O'Reilly's just rebrands it. It's a little bit cheaper than actually buying the name brand, but it's the same shit. Of course, we gotta get an oil filter. I figured since we're changing the oil, might as well change the oil filter. I wouldn't go with anything other than Wix XP, and I feel like everybody should be using Wix XP. It's a little more expensive. I think this was like $8 or $9, but for a couple dollars, you save the life of your engine. All right, so we got all the parts we need, so nothing else to do but get to it.
Let's do this.
It's probably gonna be a 13.
You're so cool.
Oh, fuck.
What?
It's a 10 millimeter, and guess what I don't have? We'll try this. Sometimes 7/16 works as a 10 millimeter. Sometimes. Yeet, it'll work. Brake cleaner is your friend. CRC, can we get sponsored?
I got it.
Awesome sauce. So the oil pan drain plug is gonna be a 15. I did that research for you, you're welcome.
Wait. What's that?
What?
By your head?
That's an old 1 gallon oil jug that I cut the bottom out of to make a drain pan. Duh. Don't blow in my face. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ah, it's getting everywhere. Ah, perfect. Didn't spill a drop. You can edit that out, right? I feel like this isn't gonna be big enough and it's gonna overflow.
What about this? Dude, that's gonna overflow. Even think about this.
Got him.
Moves.
Yeah, if you see like metal shavings or mostly shiny shit, there's no shiny shit in this, but if you see shiny shit in your oil, that usually means that your bearings are going out and you're about to have a major problem. Another pro tip, whenever you're changing your oil, always drain the oil and then put the oil plug right back in and tighten it back up, or there's a possibility that you'll forget to put it in and then you'll end up putting your new oil in and it'll end up on the ground. You ever seen one of them before, Alex?
Oh, that's one of them Ninja Stars.
It's a filter tool. It will only loosen filters, will not tighten them. See, as you're twisting it this way, these teeth get tighter and they grab onto the filter and they just spin it off. Great thing to have.
So what's the trick to this?
The trick is stick it on there and then loosen it up and the oil filter will come off. I mean, once you turn it a couple times, that happens. I guarantee I'm gonna spill this shit everywhere whenever it comes off. And if I don't, I expect 1,000 likes. Oh, well, I guess I ain't getting the likes. I'm pretty bummed that I couldn't do this as cleanly as I wanted to. And if anybody from my work is watching, I don't treat the generators like this. I get it, it's clean. It's cleaner whenever I get there than it is whenever I leave. Wait, no, other way around. It looks like we got 14 bolts around the outside of the oil pan. They all look like they're 10 millimeters. So on newer vehicles, more than likely the oil pan We'll have 1 or 2 bolts in it that come from the transmission bell housing, but on older stuff like the old Chevy 350s and 305s, basically any old Chevy, it's not gonna have, you know, transmission bolts going in the oil pan, just the newer stuff. These are the transmission bolts right here. On the front of the oil pan, there's gonna be this wiring harness, and you're gonna have to get it out of the way. On the driver's side of the vehicle, there's a 10 millimeter that goes in from the side, and then you take the harness and slide it to the driver's side, and it'll actually unclip from the oil pan, so that's out of the way. And there's a couple bolts, maybe 3, underneath it. Yeah, you can definitely tell that the oil pan is leaking because of how covered in oil these bolts are. These bolts have rubber gaskets around them, and if there's oil on the bolts, then obviously it's coming from the oil pan gasket. So there's another bracket you got to take off. This one is for the transmission lines that lead up to the transmission cooler. This is probably the hardest part of taking the oil pan off, in my opinion, is this. It's the oil level sensor. It goes right into the side of the oil pan. It's right below the starter on the passenger side. After making plenty of mistakes of breaking these, the best way I found to take them out is get a little screwdriver, about like this. You're gonna slide it in between the two until you get all the way down to the bottom of the clip, and then just pry up, and it'll release that clip, and then you can pull it out real easy. I got all the bolts out, now the oil pan don't want to come off. I think I got all the bolts out, let me put it that way. I'm pretty sure I got all the bolts off, pretty sure. I'm like 98%. Oh, no, I missed one. Oh, nope, missed 2. Wow, comes out a lot easier whenever it's got all the bolts out. Okay, so now we're gonna drop the cross member. It's 4 bolts. They are size, first try, they're size 18. So I'm gonna use an impact with the crescent wrench and pull those 4 bolts out. So you can see in there was a little bit of gunk, but I mean, this engine's got over 200,000 miles on it. There's gonna be a little bit of wear and tear. You'll just be able to judge by how much is in there, whether you actually need major engine work or not. And I mean, most of this just happens day to day, and it might not even be too much metal. A lot of it might just be dirt, but there's actually a lot of shit in here. I just now noticed. Jesus. All right, so we got the oil pan mating surface cleaned up. We went ahead and pulled the slosh plate out and cleaned out any of the metal shavings that were in there. Now we're ready to put it back in. So let's get to it. That pretty Wix XP, ooh, look at it. Ooh, ooh. Now, whenever you're tightening these, they don't need to be on there like a gorilla tightened it. As tight as you can get it by hand. Any tighter than that, and it's too tight. So as you can see, this is the old oil pan gasket. Yeah, it's not in the best shape. Pretty obvious why it was leaking all over the driveway, all over the place. Hopefully after today we won't have that issue anymore. So now that we got the oil done, we got the oil pan all bolted up, oil filter's on. The only thing left to do is fire it up, make sure it doesn't leak, take it for a test drive. Let's see how much of this
jeez! I got smacked in the head.
The acorns. Looks like oil. So either get it fixed early or be prepared to buy a new car whenever your engine blows up.
Sorry, I got distracted by a cat.
Oh, it's okay. Cat videos get more views on YouTube anyways. So.